This week, Season 6 comes to Black Ops Cold War and Warzone, delivering new maps to multiplayer, the finale of Black Ops Cold War Zombies, earth-shattering changes to Verdansk, and plenty of tricks and treats coming later this month. We're here to break it all down with some exclusive looks at gameplay from the dev teams at Treyarch and Raven. To fill everyone in on the Warzone front, let's kick things off with Raven's Amos Hodge, as well as Treyarch's Miles Leslie.
Focus. 14, 22, 5, 18, 7.
Welcome to Season 6, the epic conclusion of the Cold War post-launch story. We have been locked in this epic struggle between Stitch and Adler over the course of the last year, and now it is the ultimate climax, the ultimate battles coming to the end. Before we dive into that, let's recap what happened at the end of Season 5. Hudson and Woods met, and they realized that their boy Adler is not all right in the head. Something is wrong. When Stitch grabbed him, he put in the Evolved in Numbers program, and that is making Adler lose his mind. And in this broken state, which takes us to Season 6, he has planted explosives down in old World War II bunkers that lay beneath all of Verdansk. Now, Stitch and Fuse try to defuse some of them. They get a few, but not all of them. And the ones that they miss will change the landscape of Verdansk forever. These massive explosions have brought new gameplay with them. Stadium, downtown, and these new World War II bunkers are going to offer you new ways to play Verdansk.
Now, Verdansk has been fractured by massive drills set by Adler throughout the area as he fights against Stitch and Perseus for his own sanity. Seismic activity has cracked open the stadium and completely changed downtown. Now, these aren't cracks that you just fall into and die. There's actually play space down there, so this adds a level of verticality to those locations, so it feels like a completely different space. And the fissures contain long-buried World War II bunkers, which are new play spaces containing new loot and Easter eggs as to what's to come next in Vanguard. Last year for Halloween, we launched The Haunting of Verdansk, which players loved. It was themed towards Halloween, tons of spooky content, so we wanted to bring something similar back this year with a brand new event, brand new game mode, tons of challenges. Players will be really happy for this. Season 6 will be our last time in Verdansk, so we want to do something special and bring back the original Gulag. The classic showers, players loved it, so we're happy to bring this back for Season 6. Season 6 is full of content and secrets, from map updates, fissures in the ground, World War II buried bunkers, Easter eggs, return to the original Gulag, a new Halloween event with a brand new game mode. Season 6 is going to be jam-packed with content, and I can't wait for players to experience this.
To talk about the weapons and operators coming to both Black Ops Cold War and Warzone, we brought Miles back, and we're also joined by lead game designer Matt Schrantz. Guys, welcome back. Thank you for your time, and let's just jump right into it with Miles. Miles, if you could bring us up to speed on what's happening with this season's operators, starting with Mason.
We are changing up a little bit. Over the past seasons, each of the new operators battle pass has been a bad guy, part of the Perseus army, basically. And now it's time for a hero to rise and help really save us all in that sense, and it is Mason. Black Ops hero, he was featured in the campaign, has always been around, but he's been brought in to help Adler and Hudson and the rest of the crew take down Stitch. Now, on the bad guy side, there is a new operator, Fuse, and he is a Spanish demolitions expert. He loves bombs, so much so that even losing his legs has not stopped him from getting into the thick of it. And he's been sent in to try to defuse some of these crazy bombs that Adler's placed all over Verdansk.
Let's shift gears, start getting into weapons. There's a new shotgun in the mix.
Yeah, that's right. New shotgun for all the close range players out there. It's the 410 Ironhide. Super fun shotgun. Hip fire. It's going to have a bit of a wider spread, so you're going to have to play a little back and forth and make sure you're getting in close range, and you may have to hit a couple shots with that. But if you're a little bit more deliberate, ADS, tighten that spread up a bit, you'll be able to get that one-shot kill.
Well, Matt, it sounds like the team is also bringing back a Black Ops classic this season.
I believe you're referring to the Grav, John.
I was.
Again, like you said, a classic for the Black Ops franchise. It's one of my favorite assault rifles of all time. It just feels and sounds awesome to shoot. It hits all the beats for me, so I'm excited to get that one out in the players' hands.
What's the team cooking up for Melee fans?
As always, we do appreciate our Melee fans. And we've got something in store, and it's a battle axe, because why the hell not? It does have a bit of a slower attack, because it's a big battle axe, but with that slower attack becomes a bit more of a longer reach. An interesting kind of characteristic with the battle axe is you'll be able to actually kill multiple players in one swing with the battle axe.
Is it true, Matt, that you have to yell to get more damage as you're swinging it? Is that you have to yell like a Viking?
It's not mandatory,
Okay, all right.
but there are hidden bonuses.
Got it.
So I recommend trying that out.
We've also got two weapons coming in season, including a new SMG.
Yeah, for in season, we're looking at the Lapa submachine gun. It's a very solid submachine gun. I am a submachine gun player at heart. Feel free to look at my stats. Not too closely though. But for the Lapa, kind of the backstory about this weapon is it was actually made of lighter weight materials, so it handled really well in field testing. So those characteristics are going to come through when you're out there using the Lapa. It's got a pretty good range, and again, like the Grav, we're going to have some interesting magazine attachments and some barrel attachments for players to play around with.
So there's one last one on the list, and I have to believe that this had to come up in like the first brainstorm for weapon possibilities, because it seems like the sort of slam dunk that you've just got to include, and you save it for like a closer. Pretty solid. What is it, Matt?
Well, in your left hand, you've got a sickle, and in your right hand, you got a hammer. If you attack using, your main melee attack button on controller, that's actually going to do a swipe with both weapons. But at the same time, you can also just use your offhand on a controller, it would be left trigger, and you can just swing that sickle in your left hand.
All right, now that we've covered the toys, let's talk about some of the locales. Let's dive into maps. Miles, if you could, take us to Deprogram.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we're at the end, the ultimate climax of the story we've been building to between Adler and Stitch. And Adler's gone off the rails, right? He was brainwashed by Stitch. And as players saw in the cinematic, Mason, who was previously programmed, has got to go into Adler's mind. So Deprogram literally takes place in Adler's fragmented mind. So it's jammed together pieces of his past, right? So the Vietnam from the memories that he put into Bell from the campaign, to some of the medical lab rooms, to the caves that he went through, all the way to a ginormous Stitch in the, surrounding the map that's taunting Adler. It is very crazy. It's very cool. And it also brings some new gameplay, is that there are red doors in the map that you can go through and get to different power positions and traverse the map. It's been a lot of fun to throw in this brand new mechanic. I think players are going to dig it.
Well, it sounds like those strong thematics continue with America, which is another 6v6 map.
Absolutely. So America is basically a Soviet fake training facility that looks like the American Main Street, USA. It's got, a burger town, a pizzeria, there's a theater, and you get to fight through it all. So you get in some really different, unique engagements as you're fighting down this fake street and into the different shops and cutting across as well.
As the team mixes it up with 2v2 and 3v3, I'm going to let you pronounce this one, but there's another map available.
Yeah, absolutely. So Gluboko, which is Russian for the deep, basically, or deep. And what that references is that this map is basically an underground vault underneath the KGB headquarters, and players are going to fight 2v2, 3v3 there. It feels like you're in a place you shouldn't, which is really, really cool.
Matt, is there anything that you'd like to add on the Gluboko front?
Yeah, I'd love to. I think Miles covered it really well. But for me personally, and I know a lot of fans out there love, is Face Off 6v6. So you're going to be able to experience Gluboko in this Face Off 6v6 playlist. It's one of my favorites because I'm insane and I love chaos. And that's exactly what you're going to get when you hop into Gluboko with 12 players.
As strong themes go, we've got Halloween right around the corner. Matt, what can players expect as we get to the end of October?
I'm super excited for it. I don't want to give away too many details. I will say that we're going to have a couple new game modes that you haven't seen in Cold War. They have risen to the top of my favorites list as far as game modes go, with providing some really fun, exciting gameplay that we don't have out there yet. We'll see. But yeah, super exciting.
I think the key is anyone that is excited for Halloween, and that's why we can't really say much, is we've got the whole package coming. We want to say, but we can't. There's so much. We want to really spend the right time with that.
So I got to ask, this is season 6 broadcast. We're not going to come calling on you guys to meet up like this again for a while. Like,
What?
I mean,
I
like,
thought we were doing another one every week.
how do you feel about that?
In all seriousness, I appreciate the opportunity to come on these and really talk about all the work that the team's doing. Throughout all the seasons, we've really poured our heart and soul into all the pieces of content and tried to listen to the community in what they're vibing on as well. So I'm pretty proud that we really haven't let off steam and our foot on the pedal all the way to season 6, where we're bringing brand new surprises, right? The deprogrammed red doors in MP, to all the surprises that will come later around Halloween, to Hammer and Sickle. There's just, it doesn't let up, which I'm really proud of.
As I think back, it's really that relationship that we've been able to come on here and speak with the players and the fans. So, I appreciate having the opportunity to do that.
Well, guys, thank you very much for making the time to stop by today. Appreciate it. And as always, it's been a pleasure. Now, let's dive into the conclusion of Black Ops Cold War Zombies with the upcoming launch of Forsaken, our newest round-based zombies map. We're joined by members of the Zombies crew today to tell us everything we need to know about the climax of Cold War Zombies and hint at what's next. Gentlemen, welcome.
Hi, John.
Hi, John. How's it going, John?
Craig, let's kick it to you. Let's get into Season 6 narrative. What do we need to know? Go.
Well. Season 5 was one of my favorites because I think the thing that's probably excited the community the most is learning a little bit more about our mysterious Requiem director and hearing some of the, shall I say, slightly traumatic experiences that he's put poor Maxis through. And all of this, as people have been speculating, is really about helping Maxis unlock her Dark Ether powers. So throughout Black Ops Cold War Zombies, we've really been dealing with a new frontier in the Cold War, and we have Omega and Requiem, who are both fighting over resources and trying to understand exactly what the power of the Dark Ether could mean. Particularly recently, we've learned a little bit more about several characters. Zykov, who's sometimes referred to as the Lost Russian, who was the poor guy we saw in the original intro cinematic going into the cyclotron at Project End Station to try and seal the whole thing up. He's been there for a very long time, but also we have dealt with Omega and Requiem's plans and responses to a being known as the Forsaken. And as we move into Season 6 and our map Forsaken, we're going to learn a lot more about him, and we're going to learn a lot more about Requiem and Omega's plans for him.
Forsaken takes place in a training facility that's been repurposed for Dark Aether research. The setup of the map itself is basically a loop, but as you move through the loop, you'll get your classic splitting paths. In certain sections, we've set it up so that players will kind of expand the space as they move through it. In addition to the doors that you'll expect to see in a zombies map, we've added teleporters, and the teleporters serve as the main connections between the spaces. I'm really a fan of this map. The type of storytelling that is in there just based on what it is really interesting, and I think that we've put the area to good use.
Well, that's where the story takes us. Let's dive into gameplay. Kevin, if you want to maybe kick things off, we got a number of things to cover. Season 6 is pretty rich in terms of gameplay features, but maybe you kick things off with the new perk.
Yeah, let's start off with PhD Slider. It's going to be one of my favorites. I think people are really going to enjoy it. At its heart, it's going to persistently just give you the ability to slide into zombies and make explosions. But as you upgrade it, you get all sorts of abilities. Explosive immunity is a huge one. That's going to really change up how people play in the late game. You'll have the ability to slide through environmental hazards and not take damage. At the tier 5 ability, it gives you that original flopper ability where you can fall from a great distance and trigger an explosion as well.
Who would like to talk a little bit about the new perk machine?
It's got that original flopper feel, but it's been improved to have this kind of awesome little visual indicator on it. I'm excited for people to see it. And we also have the death perception machine in this level as well, which I'm really happy about because death perception's jingle, I think, is actually my favorite.
Players will be able to expect a new wonder weapon in Season 6. What's in store?
The Chrysalax is a really fun wonder weapon. Throughout the game's history, we've always done science-based wonder weapons, and we've also had more kind of mystical wonder weapons, and this one definitely falls into the latter category. Built out of dark ether crystals and some other elements, this is a very mysterious weapon from the dark ether itself.
It's really versatile. It has the melee mode, which is called the Crystal Axe Savager, and that thing can just like mow through entire swaths of zombies. It also has the ability to throw an energy blade, and then you can keep it spinning in the air, and it'll just take out anything that touches it. With the touch of a button, you can switch it to the submachine gun mode, and it fires out these energy bullets, and they have a chance to cause a normal zombie to turn into a crystal bomb, and that thing will just detonate and take out a whole group. The other interesting thing is that it has a very symbiotic relationship between the modes. So using one mode will produce ammunition for the other mode.
Mark, it sounds like the Crystal Axe isn't the only weapon that players can expect this season. Sounds like there are a few more in the mix.
Yeah, we've got a couple of new support weapons this time around. The first one is the Arc XT. This thing is basically like RCXD, but it's got a crystal on the back that pulses damage periodically.
You know, it functions as a monkey bomb strapped to the back of an RC car. So, you know, you're driving this thing around the map, zombies are following you, the pulse is throwing them off. You're, you know, through skill trying to maneuver through them and keep the thing as alive as long as you want. It's just an awesome tool in the toolbox for the players. I love that thing.
So the hand cannon is coming as a support to zombies. And staying true to its high caliber nature, its role within the mode is going to be all about being super effective against specials and elites. So while it has limited fire and higher skill to line up those shots, those shots are going to deal massive damage to both like specials and bosses and elites.
Kevin, if you could, catch us up on the challenges and the new intel that's in store for this season.
With Season 6, we're bringing a ton of new challenges to the mode, between a new set devoted specifically to Forsaken, and exploring and completing those quests, along with the new Dark Ops challenge. We're also going to be bringing Season 6 seasonal challenges, which will focus on Forsaken and a lot of the different game mechanics that we're bringing to the mode, as well as additions to Outbreak from last season, things like the Black Chest event or sea vehicle kills and things of that nature.
So throughout Black Ops Cold War Zombies, we've had a lot of focus on the intel, and you know that's allowed us to do a huge number of radios and audio logs. I'm not even sure of the exact number. I think it's well over 500 pieces of intel are going to be out there by the end of Season 6. When we get to the end of Season 6 and people kind of realize how all of these character stories culminate, I think they're going to look back on it very fondly.
Craig, if you could elaborate a little bit more on sort of Outbreak and the impact that has had on the zombies experience over the course of the year.
When it comes to Outbreak, I think I've said in many of our previous broadcasts, I'm not the best zombies player, and Outbreak was actually huge for me because you can kind of take it at your own pace and you have a little bit more control over some of the things that you want to do. So I think Outbreak has really opened zombies up to a new audience, perhaps an audience that were more familiar with multiplayer or maybe even campaign, because zombies can be pretty hardcore and zombies can be pretty intimidating. So, because I think Outbreak is something really fresh that we're extremely proud of, and hats off to the whole team for making it work.
We, from the get-go of this game, we set out to really build it from the grounds up as a systems-driven mode. Round-based is already such a fantastic mode. We want to preserve that, but we also wanted to explore new ways to engage with zombies. And Outbreak was an answer to that. And Onslaught was another way of looking at that, where we said, can we put zombies in multiplayer maps? And is that fun? And there was a really awesome reception from the community. So I'm just very proud of the team for getting that stuff in a place where we can do these kind of things.
We'll start with you. A question I'll sort of toss around to the group. What are you most excited for players to experience in Forsaken?
Two things. So I think this map has just so much personality. It was kind of a designer's dream to come into this place and come up with fun little side Easter eggs. So you're going to find a lot of those nestled within it. The other thing I'm really excited about is our last elite enemy, the Abomination, which is this just massive 3-headed giant that is super strong and scary. It has projectile laser attacks. It can charge at you. It's just this really fierce thing. And when it enters the space, it starts to alter how you think and engage with the enemies and it.
Anthony, let me kick it to you. What are you most excited for players to experience this season?
I'm really excited for people to just experience the space. One of the things that I find interesting about this map is that this space has been chosen purposefully. It's almost the place where the veil between the dark aether and our world is the thinnest. And this is where they've figured out that for the goal for this map, what their plan that they want to achieve can be done here. So you'll see that as you play. I think it'll be a great effect. I think players will really get into it and really feel that mood.
When you come into Forsaken, it's not like any of the other maps. It's got chaos just streaming out of the portal. And the first thing you'll see is that rounds won't be held up by a zombie being alive. And you'll have to deal with that until you can get further into the facility. So it also offers this extra challenge for people who want to stay there and see how long they can survive. It builds up really quickly.
Craig, let me switch things up a little differently for you. Taking a look at previous seasons, what are you most proud of?
I'm really proud of the fact that in Forsaken, we kind of bring a lot of characters' story arcs and emotional arcs to a conclusion. You know, we used to have that song in Mob of the Dead, Where Are We Going? I've kind of always known where this was going, and it's been quite an emotional ride. And I believe that at the end of Forsaken, when people complete the main quest, they're going to be very satisfied with what our characters have done and achieved, but also interested for the future. And when I speak of the future, the immediate future, actually, and I don't know how much I'm allowed to say about it, but we obviously have Vanguard coming up very shortly, which is going to also deal with the Dark Ether story. While Cold War dealt very much with the Nazis' science experiments, Vanguard Zombies is going to be delving into their occult experiments. Ooh, spooky.
And that is probably a good place to end it today. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming by. Appreciate it.
Thanks, John.
Thanks for having us.
On that note, we called in a special guest from Sledgehammer Games to say hello. To chat about what we'll be showing in the near future, we are joined by Sam Lighthammer from Sledge. Sam, welcome.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
Sam, let's start with the basics. Who are you and what do you do?
At Sledgehammer Games, I'm a community strategist. A lot of what I do is collecting community feedback in all the corners that I can, and taking all of that and turning it into hopefully actionable insights. At the end of the day, the advocate for the community.
People will want to direct their communication to Sledge, to you. What's the primer that players need to know? What do they need to know about reaching out to you?
Well, they can find us on a lot of platforms. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Twitter, and we monitor actively the COD Vanguard subreddit, so we'll see comments there. The fastest place to deliver your feedback to us is definitely Twitter. We are watching that one like a hawk, so if you have an account, at SH Games is going to be the place you're going to be able to get to us the quickest. And I want to mention that I do my best to gather all the feedback that includes negative and positive things. So if you do have something nice to say, we appreciate those things as well. I'm always trying to give our devs a little something to help push them throughout the day.
Vanguard Zombies is going to be the first time that Treyarch Zombies formula has crossed over into another Call of Duty title. What's been the reception by members of the Sledge team? How's everybody feeling about that?
I think that everybody is really excited to have Treyarch on for Vanguard Zombies and the expertise that you guys bring to the mode. We're not short of fans of Treyarch Zombies, and so I think that makes everybody really excited. And yeah, it's all good vibes right now, and everybody's really excited to see what the final product is.
And Vanguard is coming on November 5th. What's in store? Lay it on us. Campaign, multiplayer, anything about zombies?
You know, a riveting campaign, core MP experience. Something that we're excited about is all the maps. There's a lot of maps. But something that I really enjoy that's a new experience is the combat pacing system. And it allows you to scale the intensity of your matches by upping the player count on your map. So I personally really enjoy it. I'm really enjoying Blitz combat pacing mode. It's just nonstop action. I think that's going to be a great innovation for Call of Duty. And yeah, as a player, I like it. So I'm excited to see how it goes.
Any parting words, any parting thoughts as it pertains specifically to Vanguard Zombies?
There's not a whole lot more I can say that's revealing about zombies because we do have an event that will be coming soon that's going to go deep into all that. But what I know I can say is that there's going to be some genre twists that may be unexpected that players can look forward to. Also, a little bird told me that Zombies fans may have already discovered a little intel in season 5 related to a demonologist in 1944.
Very interesting, Sam.
Interesting indeed.
All right. Vanguard Zombies out on November 5th. Everybody's looking forward to it. I know we are. Sam, thank you again for taking the time today. And please send everyone back to the studio our best.
Thank you so much, Raph.
And we will have more to share about Vanguard Zombies soon. And in fact, as Sam mentioned, we may or may not have already been dropping some teasers in Black Ops Cold War about what is to come. But for now, we can't wait for everyone to get their hands on Forsaken this week, as well as what is to come later in the season, and then next month with Vanguard Zombies. All right, switching gears. When we met last, we sat down with a few of our resident competitive experts to talk about what was in store for the Call of Duty League Championship, and we promised that we'd have them back. With the big event behind us, and with Atlanta FaZe having taken the crown, we wanted to make good on that promise and regroup with our gang for a post-game recap of this year's competition. Alas, Ian couldn't rejoin us today. We are here for a quick catch-up with Matt and Brent. Gentlemen, welcome.
Hi, John.
Hey, John.
All right, so now that it's all said and done, what are some of the highlights from this year's CDL Champs?
Major Maniac with his crazy clutch against Ultra on the Moscow Search and Destroy, which was very similar to another clutch up in the same area by the Iceman accuracy against Optic earlier in the year. Cammy, just looking at him, he is just a walking highlight reel. One that really stuck out to me was he had a 4-piece in Raid Search and Destroy, and it was the best play. And it was just being able to see that best play and Cammy just popping off and doing what he does best. Those are two that really stuck out to me.
If I had to pick, a match or a moment, it would definitely be match 2, Express Search and Destroy. You had FaZe who was just absolutely dominant in the first half of that match. And then Ultra came back, tied it all up, and took it to round 11. And then Cell just bought enough time, on the clock. So with this 1v2, so the Ultra wasn't able to defuse the bomb in time. Of course, it would have been incredible to see it go in Ultra's favor there, but it was really exciting to watch nonetheless.
Taking a look back over the course of the last year, particularly on the competitive front, in general, what has stood out to you? What are those sort of bright shining lights? What are you most proud of?
That's a tough one, one that I'll keep mentioning and bring up because I'm personally proud of, and I know the team is proud of, is Apocalypse making it into the actual competitive map set. It's always, a goal for us to design competitive maps for post-launch and to get those into the pro map list. So being able to do that with Apocalypse was awesome. And then just, even going so far as seeing FaZe finish out winning Call of Duty champs, and that being that final moment played on Apocalypse was just kind of really the cap on that goal of ours.
All right. So COD Champs is over, but, another season awaits. So as the CDL gets ready for its next season, any parting words to the competitive community?
Good luck to everyone next year. We love you all. I think we'd be remiss without giving our shout outs to, our awesome partners at Beanox. None of this would be possible without them. Our partners at Activision and CDL, everybody from the observers to the casters to our friends that we work with very closely in publishing and just all of the planning that goes into this. Everybody from the players to our partners that we work with to make all this happen. Thank you. We couldn't do it without you.
Yeah, absolutely. Big thank you to all the fans who showed up on site to support champs, and everyone tuning in from home. You're obviously the reason why we do all this. And I know I mentioned it before in the previous broadcast, but we really couldn't have done this with all of our without the help of all of our talented individuals at the studio, from gameplay to maps to all the asset teams, everyone on the comms team, production, and then all of our partners, of course, Raven, Beanox, and everyone at CDL. Yeah, everyone associated with the league, coaches, and of course the players. Thank you for making this all possible, making it look great. It's been an incredible journey, and we look forward to the next collaboration.
Guys, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate you joining the broadcast today.
Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Season 6 has been a massive undertaking, and a team of hundreds of developers and studio partners have worked every day to bring its creative to life. Before we go, we reached out to a handful of team members to check in and tell us what they're most hyped about for Season 6. And this is what they had to say.
I love it all. I love everything about Season 6.
Season 6, I am super excited to get enhanced players, right? It's really a celebration of the entire year.
Cold War for me is very special, considering that we created and launched a game during a global pandemic. I don't want to give away too much about Deprogram, but I definitely think it's going to hit Cold War fans hard, and I'm very excited to see their reaction.
My favorite thing about Season 6 for sure is the Warzone updates. And I think what we've done in terms of the destruction has really introduced a new radical change. So really turning players' expectations on their heads.
Kind of biased because I worked on it as well, but the new support item for zombies, the ARC XT, it's kind of like a drivable symbol monkey. So all the zombies are attracted to it, they're going towards it, but it's also emitting this blast of energy that's just knocking zombies into the air constantly.
It's the Abomination. That's probably my favorite. I freak out every single time this guy shows up. He's gonna come eat you.
I'm really excited for the new maps that are coming out and the haunting event that will be later in Season 6. There's just going to be tons of surprises and treats for everyone.
We got Halloween right in front of us, and it's going to be a big, super, hopefully scary and spooky, surprising set of events.
We've provided a year of constant content during a pandemic that have kept people excited and playing. That's I'm just super happy that we were able to actually providing a ton of content for a game that a ton of people play.
Finally, with the arrival of Season 6, fans will have 100 new tiers of content to unlock, including the long-awaited return of Alex Mason himself. The original Black Ops protagonist comes to all modes with an instant unlock from the Battle Pass at Tier 0. Once you've made it all the way to the end, you'll unlock Mason's Ultra outfit at Tier 100. As Miles and Matt mentioned earlier, prepare for the arrival of 2 free new Battle Pass weapons, the 410 Ironhide shotgun at Tier 15 and the Grav Assault Rifle at Tier 31. You'll also find plenty of incredible operator skins, weapon blueprints, double XP tokens, vehicle skins, and more on the road to Tier 100. For 2,400 Call of Duty points, unlock the Battle Pass bundle and instantly get 20 tier skips, or 25 tier skips if you're a PlayStation player. You'll also get up to 1,300 Call of Duty points back as you earn your way through the tiers, redeemable for items in the store. And don't forget, friends can also gift the Battle Pass and store bundles to one another at any time. Season 6. There you have it. The end of the road, of sorts, for now. And it'll be a while before you see another special broadcast like this in its resplendent HD. So, going to go off script for a little bit. Just bear with me. First, I would like to thank everyone who helped to make these special broadcasts possible. Not just today, but over the course of the last year. Tommy, Ben, Foxy, Alan, you guys have been amazing. Thank you for all of your help and all of your contributions. We literally wouldn't be here doing this today if it weren't for you. Also, thank you to all of our guests for making the time to join us over the course of the last 6 seasons. Development is tough and people work really hard, and this has been one more thing that they have done and made time for. And it's been a year where it's like, they've been developing at work from home during a pandemic, working really hard. So shout out to all the teams, Treyarch, Raven, Beanox, High Moon Studios. Thank you for everything that you've done. But also to everyone that has appeared on a special broadcast, thank you for doing one more thing on top of all the work that you already do. Also, thank you to Activision. There's so much that they do that helps us not only develop the games that we make, but bring them to you. So shout out to them for their ongoing partnership and collaboration. Last, but certainly not least, thank you for all of your support over this last year and change. Your support, your constructive feedback, it's all been invaluable. Thank you for your support. So now, I suppose, get ready to jump into all the new content that Season has to offer, and we'll see you online.